We've got the DEus with the low frequency 9-inch coil out here, okay, and we've got the DEus out here. Both these coils are 9 inches. There may be some DEus users out there, or there may be some people out there contemplating buying an XP unit, and they're sitting here like, which one do I buy? Well, that's up to you. Now, you can read the manual, the XP manuals. They're not going to show you what I'm going to show you. They're not going to tell you in that manual. They're not going to show you. You know, you can read them, but you'll never know. If you don't know anything about detecting, you don't know anything about frequency, you're not going to know about this right here, what I'm fixing to show you, about either one of these units, either manual. Okay, now, you might see something hinted out in the manual about this DEus 2, about maybe better target ID, but that's just a generalized statement, okay? Doesn't really tell you maybe like, well, where does it give this grand ID? Well, spoiler alert, that detector don't give grand ID on all detecting scenarios, okay? And this one here certainly doesn't. Okay, so what I've done here, this machine is in 4 kilohertz. We may shift this up to the next band to 7.8 kilohertz. I've got a clad diamond and nail here, real basic little test. And I've got a silver dime under this 4x4 with that fall tape because the winds come up on me out here, okay? And I have actually looked at this detector in all the modes at 4 kilohertz. They all behave more or less the same on both of these tests. Now, a DEus user running a low frequency call, and believe it or not, even running an X35 call, you might learn something by watching this video if you are a user of the old DEus. Okay? So I'm going to run this machine first, and then I'm going to turn on the DEus 2, and we're going to look at one program in multi-frequency, and I will even toggle to the mono frequency, and let's see if 4 kilohertz on that detector behaves like this detector on these two tests. So we got the old modern trash here. There's the old fall there, and the old silver dime sitting down here, a mercury silver dime, and I'm in 4 kilohertz. All right. I happen to be in the GM Power program. Reactivity is 1. That dime solo on this machine reads 75. You notice that right there? Good old 75, 77 in the window. So if you was out swinging this thing and you come across that in the wild, and you had swept a dime, let's say testing your new DEus you bought, and you seen that, you may say, that could be a coin. That might even be a dime. Okay, now I'm going to transition over here. This is DEus fast. It's in 4 kilohertz too, but there's one difference. It's at reactivity 3. And the silencer is at -1. Watch what happens here. You see that right there? You get the tone, okay? But you have to do repetitive sweeps. You may or may not get an ID. Okay, now if we go in here and we back this off to say speed 2, see how that ID jumps in the window on us there? Okay, so we'll go back here to this GM Power. Now it's set up, I'll even speed it, we'll just put it at reactivity 2, and I'll turn up the audio response. Okay, now the silencer in this machine, I'm going to set it lowest, -1, okay? That's for the best iron unmasking, you know, for this machine. 4 kilohertz on this old nail here. I'll let you watch that meter. You see that meter? So you don't have a clue what's down there. Oh, this machine's it's not signaling on that nail, okay? Trust me. I can even move it and show you. You don't hear anything, do you? Okay. So you see a 0604 in the meter, and you don't have a clue what's down there. Now I'm going to come over here and sweep this dime. I'm even going to bring the coil out here as far as I can. That's about 2 inches above that dime. But you can see that ID? All right, now I'm going to start pushing the coil forward. Okay, you see that there. So we would never know there's a high conductive coil in there in 4 kilohertz using this DEus 1. We'd never know in the wild. See, I'm sweeping now. I'm 6 inches above that dime. Getting tone, but we don't know what it is. It could be a nickel. It could be anything. Piece of junk. Okay, now we're going to go over here. We're going to transition to the next highest band. Let's just see what happens. This is 7.8 kilohertz. Okay, so we get better ID here than we do with the 4 kilohertz, but we don't get good ID. You see that? We don't know that dime's going to reach somewhere around 75. Okay, let's come back over here to the modern trash and see what happens. Now, it's went up. Let me go back to 4 kilohertz. Whoops. So it goes up when we go to 7.8 kilohertz. See that? It went up, but over here we still don't know. Okay? We still don't know. That dime's down there. We can come over here and sweep. 3037. There's a lot of things junk can read 3037 on this machine, okay? So you got to see that right there. Both of the lower bands on this detector, you would never know that dime. You would never have a clue there's a high conductor down there. Sweeping from, any reasonable distance, you would never know. But this 4 kilohertz on this machine, when it's just modern trash, it does well. Okay, so you don't get a twofer with this machine. Okay, you don't get the iron performance in 4 kilohertz, and you don't get the modern trash performance at the same time. So we're going to turn off the old DEus 1. We're going to turn on the DEus 2. Okay. Now, I've watched the forums over the years. That DEus 1 in 4 kilohertz, there's been some good finds found in old house sites running 4 kilohertz. The only question is were those people select digging or just digging everything the machine beeped on? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Okay, now we're at deep high conductor, factory program. I'll blow the ID up. I'm just going to leave it in 2 tones because it really doesn't matter. Okay? This modern trash scenario over here. You see that ID in that meter on that dime? You see that? Okay. Now we're going to come over here to this old nail here in this clad dime. Now if I get down real close to this coin, it's a no-go. I get sample. What about 2 and 3 inches above it? And I will go in here and turn off the iron volume because that makes this machine actually, believe it or not, you can see the ID better. See that right there? You see that meter, how that number's flashing in there? 92. Now I'm going to come over here and sweep this coil. Maybe you see this in the camera. 91 lock. That's straight over that dime. I don't have to come out here. Okay? I got a lot of that coil over that nail. Let me tilt my head back so you see that in that camera. You see that meter there? So you're out in the wild and you're sweeping this detector in deep high conductor. Okay? You do have modern trash unmasking, and you do have some iron performance when it comes to IDing high conductive stuff. Okay, now I won't show this in the video, but This machine will even give tone on this deep high conductor where a 4 kilohertz won't do. The actual signal, meaning I can make this machine give a better signal or maybe a tad of a signal, 4 kilohertz won't do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here in the DEus mono program, okay? We're going to go back down here to 4.4. I'll even let it all the way down. That's 4.08 kilohertz, okay? Now, I had the silencer on that machine over there of DEus 1 dialed all the way down. We'll do that with this machine as well, all the way to 0, okay? Here's this nail here. Let me blow the ID up for you, all right? See anything that looks familiar? Now, I will go down here and turn off the iron volume just to see if it makes a difference. All right. So I can sweep here till the cows come home, 3 and 4 inches above that dime, and I won't have a clue what's down there looking at that meter. Same goes over here. I'm straight over that dime with that coil there. Maybe you see that. You see that meter? That DEus 2, this machine in deep high conductor right there, you seen what that meter was doing. It was giving 91, 90 in the meter, okay? Now, we come over here over this modern trash scenario. You see that 93 in the meter there? That's that old silver dime down there singing, okay? So, yeah, mono frequency 4 kilohertz on this machine does well here. But right here, it don't do worth a hoot, okay? Does not do worth a hoot. Back to deep high conductor. You see that? Look at there. Now, it don't give an accurate idea. I mean, I'm sweeping it pretty fast, okay? But you hear the signal in the wild, you know, and you're going to start trying to massage the call a little bit. You know, you're like, what have I got under my call? And then I'll come back over here and tilt my head back in case this camera's not getting it here. That's straight over the dime, about 3 inches. Maybe you can see that meter there, okay? So just for people that are curious, you know, and that's what this multi-frequency on this machine can do, okay? It's more versatile. More versatile. It lets you see, gives you more information on the different conditions. Now, deep high conductor is not necessarily, you know, this is not a one program solves all detecting equations, in case anybody gives that bright idea, okay? It's not. And neither is the fast program or the park program. There's some differences between these, and depending on the situation, they can have advantage, okay? I hope you enjoyed.